I think it was a terrible thing, you know. And if I were in Czechoslovakia and a Czechoslovakian student, I'd be putting out an underground newspaper and doing my best.
Called what?
Called Gutter Expletive.
Well, since you are in Czechoslovakia, Mr. Sanders, what do you consider it appropriate to do in the United States?
During the presidential campaign?
Yeah, by way of protest against the Czechoslovakian business.
Oh, well, I recommend sit-ins in front of the Russian missions.
What for?
To vigorously and more forcefully yet non-violently to witness against it. And I would advocate writing articles and advocate maybe going to Czechoslovakia. I mean, the thugs are going to Europe in a couple of weeks, and we may
You're going to bring your carbines?
We're going to the Essen Song Festival in Germany. We just may try to freak across to Czechoslovakia to visit Kafka's birthplace, I guess. Was he born in Prague? Yeah.
Yeah.
So we may go have a homage to Kafka with our band.
Well, do you draw any generalities on the basis of the behavior of the Soviet Union, which instruct you in assessing other political situations?
Like Mayor Daley in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. And what are those?
Well, those are that when you attempt to essentially peacefully gather together to press a point about a war or about a freedom or about freedom of journalism, that when you're confronted with people like the Soviet leaders and like the leaders in Chicago, namely Mayor Daley and Mr. Stahl and Mr. Barger of the Chicago municipal office, that you're confronted with essentially the same position. You're allowed, you're clubbed, you're maced, you're gassed, you're freaked, zapped, pushed over. If you're an old lady, you're thrown through a plate glass window. If you're a cripple, you're thrown against a street light. If you're a peaceful, long-haired, loving protester, you're smashed and knocked down. If you're a cameraman, you're bricked and your camera's destroyed, and your blood is splattered all over you. I mean, it's a nefarious scene, and there's all kinds of correlations. And the lesson you would draw would be to prepare yourself, and in the sense of, if you're nonviolent like I am, and if you believe in pacifism, you will attempt to create a body of love and light, so that thing can't happen, that there'll be so many loving people there that you will have a festival of life and all its attributes, and you can do that by praying together, by loving together, by Alan was singing Aum in the streets, which is the Hindu benevolent word, and by getting together and creating love, I think it's a great force, and at least in allowing you to demonstrate in the United States against Daley, who is like it's Al Capone, I mean,
Yeah, sure.
Beware of false prophets who come unto you dressed in sheep's clothing, and underneath they are ravening wolves.
But who's that?